Good morning, everyone. It's good to see so many of you today. So everybody seemed to enjoy episode 23. So I'm not quite sure that I've come to the conclusion people must enjoy squats and push-ups, not push-ups, tricep dips. So hate to disappoint. So I won't disappoint. We'll do some more of those today. So do keep a chair handy. But instead of doing the wall squat, we will do single leg squat. So it's a good functional movement. It's the kind of movement you should be using to pick things up off the floor. So just do remember, if you do have a sore injury or sore back or sore knees, just follow easier variations that I do give you. So always work within your limits. All right, we'll get started. Standing spine roll, your flexibility test. So tripod with the feet, keep your knees soft and make sure that you are beelining. Deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, peel your spine off that imaginary wall. Notice how far down you are reaching. Beeline, use the abdominals to support your spine and uncurl to the upright. And again, deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest. Try to get as much movement through the vertebrae as possible. Notice how far you are reaching and use the abdominals to uncurl to the upright. And last one, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest and roll it down. Notice how far you are reaching and use those abdominals supporting your spine, uncurling to the upright. We'll take it against the wall for your pec stretch. Remember to keep that forearm upright as opposed to like that wrist above the elbow. So elbow a little higher than the shoulder, back behind your torso, feet towards the center of the room, and lean forwards into your stretch until that pull comes through into the front of the chest. Nice deep breaths. Get into the habit of getting the breath to the base of the lungs. So make sure that you're looking straight ahead and not pulling round the head at a funny angle. Turn the feet towards the wall, easing that arm off, and over to the other side, keeping your forearm upright, feet to the center of the room, and leaning forwards into your stretch. So aiming to get that stretch through into the front of the chest. Turn the feet towards the wall and easing the arm off the wall. So our single leg squats, if you'd like more of a challenge, hold on to your hand weights. And so now if the squats are no good for you, if you're finding it where you can, just drop back and not go quite so deep into your squat. But if that's still not helping, sit in your chair and do that leg straightening. Okay. So just from the front, so you've got your full weight on your right leg, and make sure your knee stays behind the line of the toes and your back is flat. So we're not trying to keep too upright, we're bending forwards as if we're going to be picking something up off the floor. You're aiming for as full range as possible. If you've got sore knees, you may end up stopping there. Think of bending that leg. The other thing that you're watching out for is keeping those kneecaps in line. So as you come up, be careful of that little inwards roll. Make sure that your feet are hip distance and that you're not standing like that. All right, good. Let's keep going. You should feel it in the thigh and the buttock of that front leg. All the emphasis is on that front leg. So chest to the thigh, drop those buttocks down and back, squeeze the buttocks to bring yourself up. Breathe out to lower and a deep breath in to push up. Squeeze the buttocks and drive up through your front heel. Nice deep breaths, breathing out to lower, deep breath in to push up. Dropping down as low as you can, squeeze the buttocks as you drive up through that front heel. Squeeze the buttocks as you drive up. One more. And change legs. Yes, you may have got a little bit more time. We did 15 instead of 10 today. Make sure that your feet are hip distance apart, full weight on that front leg. Chest to the thighs, squeeze the buttocks to drive yourself back up. Nice deep breaths, squeezing the buttocks to come up. Make sure that you are squeezing your core. Start all exercises with a strong center. Breathing out to low, deep breath in to push up. Drop those buttocks down as low as you can get them. Last one. Well done. Hopefully that's already warmed you up a little. And just bring it in a bit closer. We'll start with the stretching. So we'll do a lunge. So hip flexor stretch. Big lunge forwards with your right foot. Hands on either side of that foot. You want that further stretch at your back knee up off the floor. So lean slightly to the left-hand side. Make sure that you are feeling that stretch at the front of that left hip. So you can keep that knee down if you need to. Make sure your elbows are soft and your shoulder blades are in pocket. And changing sides. So a big lunge forwards, hands on either side of that foot. If you want that firm stretch, tuck the toes with your back knee off the floor. Leaning slightly to the right-hand side, tucking with the pelvis. Neck in line with the rest of the spine, don't just let your head drop. So whenever you are stretching, compare left and right side and make sure that you're also feeling the stretch in the right muscles. If you are particularly tight on one side, make sure that you do that stretch again on that side. Trying to bring balance to the body. Easing out of that. Now kneeling. If you have got sore knees and the kneeling is not suitable for you, then don't do it. But if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can put a cushion in behind your knees and you can keep some pressure on your hands. Notice I'm not going into that, and my back is flat. Otherwise, sitting upright, or if you want to challenge, leaning back within your limits of discomfort. Push your knees to the floor and tuck under with the tailbone. When you come up, make sure that you come up symmetrically, hand in the center, squeeze your core and straight up. So we're going to do our thigh stretch. Make sure that you maintain your pelvic tilt. So don't go into a sway in the back, isolate just into your thigh. Remember, you get trying to get a 9 out of 10 of discomfort into that thigh. Those tight thigh muscles are pulling you into that wrong position and are implicated in the sore lower back. So make sure that you are stretching them out effectively. So bottom leg way forwards, hips vertically stacked. Take a hold of your ankle and pull that knee back and behind your torso. Make sure you are tucking, locking with the pelvis, and try and inch that knee back a little further. So feeling it in the thigh, not into your lower back. If you're feeling in that lower back, tucking more with your pelvis. Drop the knee down to the level of the hip. Try and draw it back that extra centimeter. Yes, you can do it, Sandra. And over onto the other side. So your bottom leg, way forwards, heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis and pulling back and behind your torso. Breathe through your stretch and consciously relax your stretch muscle. Try and inch that knee back a little further. Still maintaining your pelvic tilt and keeping your hips vertically stacked. and easing out of that. Lying on your back for hamstring stretch. I'll do it without the band because you don't have to have a band. Now, remembering if you do have a sore neck, now is a good time to pop your cushion or a rolled up towel behind your head. So right leg, raising the right leg up, either interlink your fingers behind your thigh or your firmer stretch behind your calf. And if you want that firmer stretch, relax the left leg to the floor. Make sure that your foot is nice and straight and your foot is flat, as if you're trying to balance a book on top of your foot. So pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, pull your knee towards your shoulder. Keep your shoulder blades pressed into the floor and make sure that you are beelining. And changing sides, interlink your fingers behind your leg, either behind the thigh or behind your calf. Pressing up with the heel, pressing the hip into the floor, bending your elbows to pull your knee towards your shoulder. Flex your foot strongly. Relax into that stretch on your breath out. And easing out of that, your buttock stretch, right foot on the left knee, hold behind your left thigh or in front of that left knee if you'd like a firmer stretch. Hook the thigh towards the chest. Try dropping that left knee slightly to the left-hand side. So just looking for that firmer stretch through into the right buttock. Hug that thigh in and relax the tailbone back down. And changing sides, hold behind your right thigh or in front of that right knee, hugging the thigh to your chest. So looking for that firmer stretch, you may need to drop that right knee slightly to the right side. Keep hugging that thigh in and relaxing the tailbone back down. Keep your chin tucked in, neck long, and shoulder blades pressed to the floor. Easing out of that. All right. We'll do perfect abdominal curl. This one's a good one to remind you to squeeze ribs to hips to work from your center and not pull from your neck or shoulders. So knees together, feet flexed and apart, you will have your natural curve. So you are not tucking. So tailbone resting on the floor. Either fingers interlinked behind the head, but if you would like a challenge or your neck is sore, cross your hands over to opposite shoulders. Now use your breathing. Breathe out to curl up, breathing in a small release back. So squeeze ribs to hips. Keep your buttocks relaxed and just moving through a very small range of movement. Slowly lift and slowly lower. As you curl up, beelining as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. So moving through a small range of movement. Squeezing ribs to hips, no pulling from neck or shoulders. One more, relax it back. Just check that you still have your natural curve and that you have not gone into a tuck with the pelvis. And then another set. Squeeze your knees firmly, flex the feet strongly. Breathe out to curl up, breathing in that small release back. So on your breath out, closing through the rib cage and flattening those abdominals. Squeeze ribs to hips. Slowly lift, slowly lower, just moving through a very small range of movement. One more. Relax it back. We'll do it with rotations. Now make sure that your fingers are interlinked behind your head and not your neck. Contract forwards. Look across towards the person next to you or maybe the dog next to you and look towards your knees to the center. Across to the other side. Nice deep breaths. Keep your knees glued together and breathe through the movement. Breathing out to rotate, deep breath in to the center. Make sure you are rotating equally to both sides. And use your breathing. It does make the exercises more effective. If you've made the effort of exercising, you might as well get the most out of it. And relax it down. Guess what? It's hover time. I think I can hear the crowds cheering. we'll do our normal 2-minute hover on the front. And then we will do a rotating side hover. So if you do have sore shoulders, you may need to stay on your knees. And please remember to start on your knees. It's getting you in the correct position. And do concentrate. On Monday, we're concentrating on the pelvic floor, but especially during the hover, I want you to make sure that you're engaging through the pelvic floor on your breath out. So it's all in that tuck of the pelvis. So if you're starting to arch, your back muscles are taking over, you need to draw in and tuck under so that you feel the abdominals. Elbows in underneath your shoulders, your palms are facing up, and check that your hips are shoulder height. Now this, you can stay in this position, otherwise tuck the toes, lift it and hold it. So your feet should be hip distance apart. Now concentrate on your breathing. Breathe in for a count of 4, slow breath out for a count of 6. Breathe all the air out, squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Pinching the buttocks will give you more stability. Make sure that you're pressing the shoulder blades down towards the hips. No hunching with your shoulders. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. Your chin is gently tucked in and you should be looking down between your hands. Keep that breathing deep and slow. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. Make sure that you're maintaining that pelvic tilt. If you need to at any time, drop back to the easier variation or ease out of it, join in again when you are ready. So you keep making sure that you're feeling the tummy and not your lower back. That's already past a minute. You're on the home run. Keep that breathing deep and slow and remembering on your breath out, squeezing the core, that whole corset around your center, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Pinching through the buttocks, nice and strong through your center. Just 30 seconds to go. You can do it. Well done, Kathy. I can see you going well there. Deb, are you managing your 2 minutes? Last 15 seconds. Keep maintaining that tuck under with the tailbone. Release it gently, coming back into press position. So feet together, knees out wide, and just sinking your chest low, flat in your spine. Easing out of that, we're going to do a side hover, and we're going to do that more challenging rotating hover. If it is too much, because it does work your shoulder quite strongly, feel free to drop back to your easier variation, or if it's still too much, you can do another easy front hover, one on the knees, or you can choose to do one arm, one leg on opposite sides. So just make sure that your shoulder is coping with your side hover. We'll do a 30-second side hover. So that's easier option. If you are doing the rotating one, make sure you've got the top foot forwards. So with that rotating one, we are here, and then you rotate with your feet, you hold it there a moment, and you lift up again. All right, so just getting ready. Lift it up and hold it there, shoulders vertically stacked, hips vertically stacked, and rotating. And back up again, squeeze your core, keep your hips up at shoulder height. So squeeze the core, turn your feet as you rotate, and keep those hips up at shoulder height. One more. Release it gently. It may have been a touch longer than 30 seconds, but I'm sure you won't hold it against me. All right, to the other side. Keep that second hand in position. Good, lift it up and hold it there. Push your hips up, rotate, and back up again. Nice slow rotations, squeezing through your core. Nice strong movement. Keeping your hips up at shoulder height. Release it gently. And just give your shoulders a circle. Well done. All right, we'll follow with a little easier one, the side to side. But this one is a good one for sore lower backs. And we don't often give our body that full rotation. So arms are out, shoulder level, palms are facing up, feet together, knees together, relaxing those knees across to the side, pushing through with your hips, turning to look to the fingers of the opposite hand. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift and smoothly to the other side. So if your back is sore, you may find you're not going quite so low. You'll gradually, within your limits of discomfort, nudge those knees a little closer to the floor. Breathing out as you lower and a deep breath in as you lift. Keep those knees glued together. Now once you're back up to the center, you can choose to lift the legs or keep them on your feet on the floor if your back is sore. So take the legs halfway to make it easier, or as low as you can where the opposite shoulder is still flat, squeezing core and inner thighs to lift. Keep your shoulders nice and flat into the floor. Squeeze core and inner thighs as you raise. Breathing out as you lower, and a deep breath in as you lift. Make sure that you are concentrating on using those abdominals to rock the legs back up again, not just using the leg muscles. So make sure that you are squeezing the core, inner thighs, and pelvic floor. Breathing out to lower, deep breath in to raise, doing movement in time with your breathing. And one more. Back up to the center, relax your feet to the floor. So your easiest stretch, knees are vertically stacked, try and get them close into your armpit, and a gentle pull, trying to get that left shoulder as flat on the floor as you can. Your firmest stretch, be careful if you've got a sore lower back and this one's too much for you. Right leg out straight, left leg up and over, foot to the floor, and gently easing that knee down within your limits of discomfort. So don't force it, just breathe through it and relax into it. Make sure that you beeline so that your back is supported throughout. And as you come out of that, squeeze the core, slowly rock yourself back to the center, across to the other side. Left leg out straight, right leg up and over, try and get that knee closer into your armpit, and relax that knee towards the floor. Trying to keep that right shoulder as flat on the floor as possible. Squeeze the core, use those abdominals carefully and slowly up, and just give those knees a rock into your chest. Give the knees a circle. Reverse your circle. Okay, we're going to do bicycling. Now if your neck is sore, pop that towel in underneath your head again, and make sure that your lower back is imprinted. You can hold on to hand weights if you'd like more of a challenge. But the other thing, if you have a sore neck, you can interlace your fingers to help you keep that forwards contraction. So you're not contracted here, you contract right up. So flex the feet, keep them flexed, your legs are parallel, bent leg in close, extend it up vertically, just down to a 45 degree if you need to make it easier. And for a challenge, leg low to the floor as long as your back is still imprinted. So if your neck is sore, rest your head down or interlace the fingers. Keep squeezing ribs to hips. So breathe into bench, breathing out as you extend. So wanting to hear that last breath out. Get the bench knee close into the chest, squeeze ribs to hips, B-line, lower back imprinted to the floor. Keep squeezing ribs to hips, looking towards the leg that you are lowering. Make sure your back is flat on the floor, imprinted to the floor. Reverse your bicycle. Now smooth movement with the knees. Keep squeezing ribs to hips. Push through the heel to extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Still squeezing ribs to hips. And hug your knees in close. Okay. We will do the hand, actually still hold on to your hand weights. We're going to do the hundreds. Now you can choose to just hold the position or you can alternate with the legs. So your easier position, just make sure you lift the buttocks up, lengthen out into your back and tuck with the pelvis. So lower back imprinted, no arching away from the floor. So you want the tummy to work off the back. So easier position, feet above the buttocks, knees bent, legs are up more vertically, and you can just hold this position. If you would like a challenge, flex and turn out. You can hold your hand weights, lower the one leg either to a 45 degree angle, otherwise lower to the floor. Don't let that leg sag with you, keep that leg pulled in towards your chest. Same thing with the head. Pop it back on the pillow if your neck is sore. So breathing out to lower, deep breath into raise. Squeeze ribs to hips as you did for perfect abdominal curl. Make sure that you are beelining, pulling those abdominals in and keeping them flattened. Keep that opposite leg pulled in towards your chest. Look at the abdominals and make sure that they are pulled in and flattened and not doming out. So you could just be holding this position. So now come back to those legs up vertically, lower them to where your back is still imprinted, raise the arms up and lower the arms back in line with your ears. Keep squeezing ribs to hips, keep beelining and hug your knees to the chest. So one more of the hundreds. If you need to, just readjust yourself. Sharon, you probably just need to lengthen out again. Remember, if you have a bit of sore back, don't move the legs, just keep them up vertically. So lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. So if you're just holding it here, you'll squeeze the inner thighs, pinch the buttocks. On your breath out, squeezing core and pelvic floor. That alternating flex and turn out, straighten your knees, breathing out to lower, deep breath into raise. Squeeze ribs to hips. Keep your chin tucked in, looking towards the leg you are lowering. Also look at the abdominals to make sure that you're keeping them pulled in and flattened and not allowing them to dome out. One more with each leg. Keep that opposite leg pulled to your chest. Now just hold that position, arms up and lower the arms back in line with your ears. Keep squeezing ribs to hips, keep beelining. And hug those knees to your chest. Well done. Just give those knees a squeeze in. And the knees a circle. All right. And we'll do the crisscross to further work the oblique abdominals. If this one is a bit too much for you, you can do some more of your side to side. Or at least try a few of the more challenging. Stop when you need to. Interlink your fingers, hands behind your head, flex the feet, keep them flexed, lift your shoulder blades off the floor. So the leg you're extending, either to 45 degree to make it easier. Make sure your foot is flexed and turned out. The leg is low to the floor for a challenge. Draw that leg across the body, tap elbow to opposite knee, shoulder blades are off the floor to the center, across to the other side. So breathing out to rotate, deep breath into the center, looking right across towards the person or the wall that is next to you. Squeeze your core. I want to hear you breathing. Keep equal pressure throughout the buttocks. Get that elbow touching that opposite knee. Faye, is that elbow touching the knee? Squeeze your core. Nice deep breaths. So strong sigh out as you rotate. Draw that leg across the body. One more to each side. And hug the knees in close. And we'll sit up for rollbacks. So I will do a few rollbacks, and then if you'd like more of a challenge doing the teaser, just readjusting my mat, which manages to scoot all over. So you can hold hand weights or use your band to make it easier. So I'll just show you what you're really after is that pelvic tilt, that tucking, so that you get a smooth roll back. So if you are using your band, pop that band wide around your forefeet. Watch that you're keeping that same angle at the knees, just halfway down. Now look at the abdominals and rock back on your pelvis. Squeeze ribs to hips to come up. Draw those shoulder blades into pocket, just halfway down, tucking with the pelvis and squeezing ribs to hips to come up. But make sure that you are not doing this, because then you're wasting your time. Okay. So I'll just talk you through a few, and then I'll talk you through the teaser. So tucking, take yourself down as low as you can. You can still bring yourself back up again. Tuck the chin and look towards the abdominals. Squeeze ribs to hips on the way up. Tucking, 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 and squeezing ribs to hips. Okay, now if you'd like to do the teaser, right near to 90, flex your foot and keep your knees level. Flex that foot on the left foot as well. So you will, last breath out, reach for your toes, curve into the back, roll it down. Otherwise, continue with the previous one. Last breath out, reaching for your toes, sink into the hips to roll it down. Squeeze ribs to hips, reach for your toes, curve into the back as you roll down. Squeeze ribs to hips, reach for the toes, roll it down, keep those knees level. Last breath out, reaching for the toes, roll it down. One more on this side. Squeeze ribs to hips, reaching for the toes, roll it down, and change legs, keeping those knees level. Make sure that you squeeze ribs to hips, reach for the toes, tuck with the pelvis to roll down. Last breath out, reaching for the toes, roll it down. Squeeze ribs to hips, reach for the toes, tucking with the pelvis. Squeeze ribs to hips, reach for your toes, tuck with the pelvis on the way back. Last breath out, reaching for the toes, roll it down. Last one. Squeeze ribs to hips, reach for the toes, roll it down. Stay down, reaching the arms up and overhead. Hopefully you felt those abdominals. So press the back of the arms into the floor, try and straighten your elbows as much as you can. Tuck your chin in so you're flattening through the curve of the neck. Press your shoulder blades to the floor. Pelvic tilt to press that lower back down. Press the back of the legs to the floor. Straighten the knees, straighten your elbows. While we're in this position, just bend the knees, and we're going to get that rotation of the shoulders. You can hold onto your hand weights. It's like a stop sign, elbow in line with your shoulder, and just try to get that full rotation. So pressing the back of the wrists into the floor. So tuck your chin in, press your wrist, your elbow, and back of the head to the floor. Make sure that you're beelining so you don't arch up away from the floor, and relax. So keep trying to get those wrists as flat into the floor as you can. Tuck the chin in. You should feel that gentle pinching, that working into the upper back, trying to get that opening through the chest. If your wrist is up there, just gradually breathe through it, and all within your limits of discomfort, aiming to get that wrist down. But remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. If the shoulder is sore, just work within your limits. So pressing down and release out of that. So remember to snack on that one if you're finding the arm is just up there. So gradually we're wanting to get that full rotation. And just a quick angel wings as well. So if your shoulders are tight, just gradually nudge into it. And you can lift the arm off the floor to complete your circle if you need to. Bring it back down to the floor when you are able to. And remembering to keep your rib cage nice and flattened. Just get those shoulders just to 90 and back up again. Make sure that your chin is tucked in and give those shoulders a quick rest. All right, and sitting up. All right, we will do a spiral stretch to stretch out through the sides. So one leg directly out in front of you, foot at the level of the knee. So it's a deep breath in, rotate to that bent leg. Breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg. Hold the leg where you comfortably can. If you can reach your foot, hold the inside of the foot. Slide your other hand down between the shoulder blades, tuck your elbow close. Twist your chest to the ceiling, bend the elbow, armpit closer to that straight leg. Leaning onto the buttock of the straight leg and twist your chest up as much as possible. You can go into that pretzel for your firm stretch. Nice deep breaths. Get the breath to the base of the lungs. Now as you come up and out of that, if you have got a sore back, face your straight leg and slowly uncurl to the upright. Otherwise, you can face that big leg. Changing sides. So deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg. Breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg. Holding the inside of the foot if you can reach it. Other hand between the shoulder blades. Twisting your chest to the ceiling. Bending the elbow, armpit closer to that straight leg. Or go into the pretzel. So you're looking underneath the armpit towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the crown of the head towards your toes. Keep twisting your chest to the ceiling. One more deep breath. Stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core to uncurl and release it down. And we will do a twist for your upper back. So you should feel it more between the shoulder blades. Sitting cross-legged, hand on your knee, and twist your shoulders square onto the side wall. Nice deep breaths, just relaxing into your twist on your breakout. Now pulling around with the neck, just looking to the side wall. And across to the other side. Keep sitting up nice and straight, no leaning back, and twisting. And easing out of that. And we will just do a side reach as well. Place your hand on the floor and bring that arm back in line with your ear. And take yourself over as much as you can, feeling that stretch through your side. Drop the head over, bring that arm back in line with your ear, and nice deep breaths into the armpits. Now squeeze the core, push yourself up, and to the other side. So try and straighten your elbow as much as you can and take it over within your limits. Make sure that you're not just leaning like that. Keep the buttock pressed into the floor and bring that arm back in line with your ear. Just leaning directly to the side, not backwards into the side. And push through your hands, squeeze the core, bringing yourself up. It's time for some back strengthening, holding onto hand weights if you would like that challenge. A sip of water. So palms are facing inwards. Make sure that your feet are shoulder distance apart or mat distance. And lift your arms higher than the torso. Pinch your shoulder blades, release with control. So reach your hands for your toes. Release it down gently. Deep breath in to lift and breathing out to lower. If your back is sore, just lifting up a small amount, so within your limits of discomfort. Make sure that you're squeezing your shoulder blades, lifting the arms higher than the torso, lifting your chest as high as you comfortably can. Be careful that you're not pulling upwards with your neck. Make sure that head comes along for the ride. Concentrate on working from upper back and lower back, not straining from your neck. Breathe in to lift and breathing out to lower. Lifting your chest as high up off the floor as you comfortably can. Pinch those shoulder blades. One more. Release with control. Everybody's favorite, time for a swim. Palms are facing inwards. Now one arm, one leg on opposite sides. Remember, you can keep the one arm, one leg on the floor. Make sure you're drawing the tummy in and lengthening the tailbone away. Don't just sink into that lower back. It's a pelvic tilt on your front. So that is if you've got one arm, one leg on the floor. Otherwise, arms and legs are lifted, and then nice slow swimming, one arm, one leg on opposite sides. Keep your pelvis nice and stable, and remember to always pull those tummy muscles away from the floor, wanting to support your spine. Make sure you're not rocking from side to side. Keep it slow and controlled. Release down gently. So try not to rock from side to side. Keep that pelvis still, and how you're doing that is by squeezing the core and pinching the buttocks. One more slow swim. So when we're lifting, take as long to raise as you do to lower. So it's not this. Okay? So just think about how you are doing it. Take as long to raise as you do to lower. So arms and legs lifted, breathing out to lift, in to lower. Looking down towards the floor, neck is in line with the rest of the spine. Squeeze your core, that corset around your center, trying to get that equal lift of the arm and the leg. Nice straight knees, release down gently. Now fast swimming. You can do fast swimming with just the legs or arms and legs. So if you're doing it with just the legs, forward resting on the hands, small movement to make it easier, a larger range of movement for a challenge, and percussion breathing. Breathe in 5 bursts and out in 5 bursts. So nice fast swimming. Squeeze the core, pinch the buttocks, keep your torso locked absolutely still, no rocking from side to side. Release with control. Now remember, you're only going to get the benefit out of this one if you're actually doing it. Remember, Pilates is not a spectator sport. And another set. Nice fast swimming. Nice straight knees. Keep your elbows as straight as possible. Keep that breathing flowing. Release with control. And you have one more set. Nice fast swimming. You can, of course, slow it down a little if you need to. Keep your torso locked still. Keep squeezing the core, pinching the buttocks, nice and fast. Release with control. And back extensions, thinking of flexibility into your back, hands next to your shoulders, onto your forearms, onto your hands, shoulders away from the ears, back onto the elbows and down. If your back is stiff, you can put your hands further forwards so that you're not getting as much bending into the back. Still keeping those shoulders down. You can relax the elbows out to the side. Just nudge yourself gently high. Deep breath in to push up and breathing out to release. Head comes along for the ride. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. Either continue with this, otherwise join me for the more challenging one. Holding onto your ankles, flex your feet, push the heels up, lift your chest, lift your thighs, release with control. So heels to the ceiling, pinch your shoulder blades, don't pull upwards with the neck, but you will have crown of the head and heels to the ceiling. Breathe in to lift and breathing out to lower. Push your heels to the ceiling, try and get those thighs lifting off the floor. Heels to the ceiling, lift the chest, lift the thighs, release with control. Breathe in to lift, breathing out to lower. Heels to the ceiling, raise the chest, raise the thighs, release gently. You've got one more. Release it and into rest position. You should feel those back muscles are feeling tight. Take yourself slowly into rest position and then relieve into that lower back. Straighten your elbows, you get that stretching through your shoulders as well, and sink your chest down low. Press buttocks to heels. If you do have sore knees, remember your alternative is lying on your back, hugging your knees to your chest. Easing out of that, we'll roll over onto our backs and do shoulder bridge. So I'll give you two variations here. So remember, this is one of the best ones for a sore lower back or to prevent getting a sore back. So snack on this one often. So your easier one, make sure your ankle is in underneath your knee. Now you can pop something between your knees to encourage you to squeeze in from those inner thighs. Otherwise, just holding an imaginary something so that you are getting those inner thighs working. Palms are facing up. Pelvic tilt. Make sure that you're isolating into tummy and pelvic floor. Make sure that you're pulling in, never brace by pushing out. Then as you peel off, squeeze the buttocks. Get yourself into a nice straight line. If your back is sore, you may just nudge into that movement. You'll gradually take yourself high. Push your shoulder blades into the floor. Maintain that tuck with the pelvis. You're not going into a hyperextension. Squeeze the buttocks. Squeeze in from the inner thighs. Tuck, tuck, tuck with the pelvis. Lower back is down. Very last thing you do is release through your pelvic tilt. So remember, hold that for a moment, making sure that your lower back is pressed flat, engaging through tummy and pelvic floor. Once you lift up, then you squeeze the buttocks. Don't squeeze the buttocks to do your tuck. Peeling the spine off, pushing the hips up, tuck your chin in, shoulders are flat, palms are up, and roll yourself down. Now, if you would like more of a challenge, lift your left leg up into tabletop, and you're going to be just using the right leg to lift up. The hamstrings do work strongly, so just careful if they cramp. Concentrate on squeezing the buttocks more. Tuck with the pelvis, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips up high, roll your spine down. Keep your shoulder blades pressed to the floor, palms facing up, pelvic tilt, squeeze the buttocks, peel the spine up, push your hips up high, and roll your spine down. So pelvic tilt, squeezing the buttocks, push your hips up to the ceiling. Really need to squeeze those buttocks tight. Roll yourself down. Pelvic tilt, peeling off the floor. Push your hips up and roll yourself down. Tucking with the pelvis, peeling off. Push those hips up. Roll yourself down. And we will change legs. All right. So this leg into tabletop, knee above your hip, calf parallel to the floor. So make sure the other foot, ankle in underneath the knee, pelvic tilt, hold it there, peeling off, push your hips up and roll your spine down. Remember to squeeze your buttocks, push through your heel. So pelvic tilt, oh, somebody else is crapping. Peeling off the floor, push your hips up, roll your spine down. Pelvic tilt, peeling off, push those hips up, squeeze your buttocks, roll it down. Pelvic tilt, peeling off, push your hips up, remember to tuck your chin in, roll yourself down. Pelvic tilt, flatten your back, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips high, and roll your spine down. One more, tucking, peeling off, push your hips up, roll your spine down, and just give those hamstrings a quick little stretch out because they have worked strongly. Changing sides. Easing out of that and standing up, holding onto hand weights. Actually, we'll do tricep dips first, so get your chair for the tricep dips. Now, if you do have a sore shoulder and the tricep dips aren't suitable for you, you can hold on to your hand weights, pinch your shoulder blades, and straighten the arms. So all you're doing is bending and straightening while you keep those shoulder blades pinned together. Just check your posture, hip, knee, and ankle all in a straight line. Make sure that you're not standing like that. All right, otherwise your tricep dips. Make sure, once again, you're pinching your shoulder blades. Keep your torso upright. So, dip yourself down. You can do it a smaller range of movement to make it easier. Otherwise, try and get your elbow at the level of the shoulder. Body stays upright and push yourself up. Try to put as little weight through the feet as possible so that you are putting the weight through the arms to push yourself up. Breathe out to lower, deep breath in to push up. Keep your torso upright. Make sure you're not pushing up like that. Keep your body upright, as if you're grazing your back onto that chair. Breathe out to lower, deep breath in to push up. Keep your elbows tucked in so the tip of the elbows face backwards. Keep looking straight ahead. Push up. Breathe out to lower, deep breath in to push up. So working those triceps. Nearly there. Last one. And a little seat. Give those arms a little shake. And holding onto hand weights. You can stand on one leg if you'd like to challenge your balance, or stand firmly planted on both. So if you do stand on one leg, make sure that your hip bones are level and that you're not hitching up through your hip. Knee up to the level of the hip. And we'll start in this position and push up to the ceiling, pull back. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to return. So for your balance, squeeze your core, pinch through the buttocks, nice and strong through your center. Looking directly forwards, neck in line with the rest of the spine. Head balancing on the top of the neck. And one more. Stop, change legs, knee up to the level of the hip, those hips level, rotate down and rotate back up again. Keep your elbows at shoulder height. Think about your neck, keep head balancing on the top of the neck, no chin poking. Keep your elbow, shoulder and wrist at the same height, wrist above your elbow. Stop, change legs, palms in, elbows together, and pinch your shoulder blades. Squeeze in, push out, try and create some self-resistance. Squeeze in, push out. Squeeze in, push out. Stop, change legs, straighten the arms, and small circles. Take those arms back behind your torso. Keep your head nice and still, and gentle pinch between your shoulder blades as you take those arms back behind your torso. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. Straighten your arms. Holding, 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 holding. Relax. Well done. Now give those arms a little stretch out. Hand on your elbow. Bring the arm across your body. Shoulder down away from your ear. And to the other side. Hope that arm, so hand is on your elbow. Elbow is straight. Bring that arm across your body. Drop the shoulder away from your ear. Gently squeeze your shoulder blades. Slide your hand down between your shoulder blades. And if you want that firmer stretch, lean to the side. Squeeze the core to come up to the other side, pushing the hand between the shoulder blades. And easing out of that. And standing spine roll. Hopefully you've loosened up a little. Breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, roll it down. Hold it here for a few deep breaths. Let your head dangle, let your arms dangle. Press your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Make sure your chin is tucked in, you're looking towards your knees. Draw shoulder blades into pocket, engage through tummy and pelvic floor, and uncurl one vertebra up at a time. Just a gentle stretch for the neck. You're going to nod, so just a half turn, chin to chest and back up. 3 nods. Now take your chin to your armpit and gentle pull on the back of the head. Breathe through your stretch. And to the other side, just a half turn, chin to chest and back up. 3 nods. And now a gentle pull. Ease out of that, drop ear to shoulder, gentle pull, keep those shoulders level, and to the other side. Easing out of that, and tuck the chin in, tuck it back, and release to neutral. So make sure that you're not dropping the head down, just keep your gaze looking straight ahead. And it's as if you're making a double chin. Draw that chin back and release to neutral. Too often our natural position is out here, so just reminding you, head balancing on the top of the neck. Clasp your hands, lifting up, and give those shoulders a circle. Walk tall and enjoy your week. Well done.